Oh, man. What a day. What a day. What a day. Oh, let's see. Okay. All right, I'm not sure what's going on with that. Let's see. Let's go edit. Go to stream it to. Go to. Uh, that one. Move. We're going to add this one here. All right. So, good afternoon, everybody. This is Randy with Real Flash Custom Bait ABA Fishing. So today was a pretty awesome day, man. I'm going to bring Curtis on here in a second. So today was pretty much a pre-fishing event. We're going to fish against each other head to head on the 26th. I thought I took the victory home today, but unfortunately I didn't. So we're going to bring Curtis in. What's up, Curtis?
Hey, man. How you doing?
Hey, man. So I think I had one of those LeBron, actually not LeBron James, a Zion moments where you get all the highlights in the game, but you actually don't win. And I caught I caught 3 bass on camera, a 21-inch walleye, which was my biggest walleye ever. I was contemplating on keeping that fish, but I don't think I could have kept it fresh. But man, that was an awesome day fishing with you, man. I'm actually going to share this screen here. So let's see. So Curtis finished with 77.75 inches, and I finished with 74.75. So Curtis, please explain these last 2 fish that you caught, because I definitely thought I had you beat.
Oh man, I don't know. I'm gonna have to say it. I guess I couldn't have been more lucky. That it started to pile up. I ended up counting just before I left, and there was like 12 boats on that water. And
Right.
so I was fishing. I was fishing some rocks, and I had caught a little 15-inch or so somewhere in there. And I thought, man, I got 20 minutes left. I got to make it count. So I raced to a spot that I usually catch a few things, but today I hadn't. So I had raced over there, and there was 20 minutes. So I was like, well, whatever. I guess I'm just going to throw a jig out here. So
Right.
I ended up throwing a jig, and I had caught, a 15 and a half or something. And,
Cool.
man, I threw back in, and these 2 guys were started to wheel in awful close. They wanted to see what I was doing. So I threw in this, my last cast, and I ended up pinning that 17, man. That was a pencil sharpener move. So
Yeah.
that was the one that put me like a half inch ahead. And then
Right.
just at noon, I had submitted another fish. So it was
Right. Cool.
pretty wild in the last minutes there.
So did that spinner bait? Did you catch any off the spinner bait?
Not one.
Ah.
Nothing on a spinner bait or a buzz bait.
Right. Right.
In fact, I tried plastics. I tried the whole army of stuff. The only thing I caught fish on today was a jig.
Right. Yeah. So I of course I was throwing the ripple stick, and I ended up catching. I ended up catching the 16 I caught off of jig. Actually, I had quite a few strikes off the jig, but man, it kind of got a little bit difficult to really, you'll get that quick bump, and then they'll spit it out, and then
Yeah.
I'll sit it there for a little bit, jerk it, and then I'll hit a piece of grass, and then I'm setting the hook in grass. So yeah, it was one of those
Yeah.
days, man. But I cannot complain. I had an awesome time, man.
Yeah, that was fun.
So the main event is June 26th, and I'm gonna put up 90 inches, man.
Yeah.
I'm shooting for 90 inches, man. Again, I am fishing Big Green here in Wisconsin. It is the deepest lake here in Wisconsin. I think it is 200 plus. So
Boom.
yeah, I don't even know how to really fish that type of lake, but I got some ideas. Definitely a lot of jigging. Looking for smallmouth for that too. So that's going to be fun. Let's see. So we're going to do a quick highlight moment. I got everything actually mapped out. And let's see. So right off the bat, we started at we recorded for an hour. That was pretty significant, man. So at this 2-minute mark here, let me adjust the audio here. Where is it? All right, there we go. So this was definitely the first legit fish of the day for me. Again, I did catch one right at the bank, but I could not measure it because I caught it off the dock there. But I actually saved this little spot here for the footage because this is the only place in the lake to where it got like, you know, a group of trees that kind of funnel in together, probably about in 10 foot of water. So
yeah,
pretty decent fish there. I was really feeling good about this one, man. I thought this was the moment, man. I'm like, all right, cool. You know, 20-inch bass off the rip. That's the only thing I kind of hate about fishing. How can I say this? Smaller tests. You know, you feel like every fish you catch is
big,
10 pounders.
That's for true.
So the next highlight moment is at 11.5 minutes. Let's get to that.
Man, the wind really came up over there later in the day as it started to move on, didn't it?
So I'm going to run that there. Now I finally saw that picture Martin was talking about. What the hell is that man doing? So do you normally throw bait casters?
Hang on a second. My volume just went all fuzzy on me.
All right, fish number 2. So yeah, 34, 38. All right, so we got another fish here, and this one is actually caught by Curtis. This was his first fish of the day.
Oh, now.
So again, this is the third highlight here with Curtis catching his first bass here. We're at 30. Actually, let me go back a little bit. So Curtis' second fish of the day. I'm actually his first fish of the day, 13 inches. Wonderful day, man. All right, so last highlight of the day, closing out. So
There
you're
we
back.
go.
So I'm actually gonna go back here to your first fish of the day.
That one was
13,
funny.
what it was, 13 and a half?
Yeah, something like that. That one was funny because I was yammering on about not setting the hook appropriately. You know what I mean? So it was really
Right.
funny. Got so into trying to find fish, I missed the 10 a.m. thing too.
Right. No, that was fine. It was windy as crap anyways. There we go. Man, I love seeing that hook set.
Yeah, I was worried. I probably jerked him out of the water doing that.
Right. So do you run a trailer on your jigs?
Yeah, I usually use any sort of a craw, but for a while I've been using the Z-Man 3-inch craws because they float, so it really picks up the tail end of that jig and looks like a craw standing there.
Right. Yeah, I am a big fan of Z-Man, man. That technology they got in that plastic is phenomenal. And I don't know if they have that actually patent, but that's one of the things that I really wish I can get close to, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. I didn't really think you can make a plastic stretch that far.
Right, and then a lot of people would think that, okay, consider that I do make plastic, so I have been through a few different companies, and you would think, okay, I'm getting a softer plastic, but once you actually run that softer plastic, it cools, and then you get out the fish and you try to stretch it, it just rips in half. Like it's no bouncing back from it. So it's almost like bubble gum.
Yeah.
All right, so closing out with the highlights, the last fish of the day, man. This was my 21-inch bass, man. Not bass, but 21-inch walleye that I was contemplating on keeping. Hold on, before I play this, can you actually hear the audio of me with the video?
I didn't hear myself when you were showing my last fish there, so I'm not really hearing the audio of your video very well.
All right, cool. I don't want the audio played because I was dropping a lot of F-bombs. Well, not F-bombs. I was doing a lot of cursing. I was freaked out, big fish, man. So I hope you understand.
Yeah, that was pretty intense.
I definitely thought that was bad.
Oh, man. Yeah, man, I caught a bunch of pike, man. Every time I turn around, there was pike biting on something.
Right. Yeah, I actually caught 2 pike today.
And it's worse is those, the bigger pike that fight a little bit like bass and get you all fired up until you get disappointed when you get them up to the yak.
Right. that was fun, man. That was definitely fun.
Heck yeah.
Let's see if I can hold this sucker up. I wish I could have measured that sucker. All right, man. Let's get back to these scores again. So let me take a look at this 17-inch bass here. Man, that's nice, man. This was a deal sealer here, man. Actually, that 17 and that 16 sealed the deal for me. So that actual lake I was actually fishing is not really known to have big bass, but at any given moment, at the right current, those smallest can come throughout that river and just settle up in there. So I did a lot of research, and they say at some points you can catch a lot of smallmouth, and at some points none. I have yet to catch a smallmouth out of there, but luckily today, somebody was out there paddling on one of those big old floaty tubes, and they got blew all the way across the lake. So I ended up pulling them all the way back, and they actually gave me another lake in that area that's not heavy pressure, and you can't use the actual motor in there, no gas motor. So
that's all right.
Man, it's like, so I got this hour and a half, well, probably 2 hour drive to that tournament next weekend. And if the weather conditions are anything close to 15 miles per hour, there's no way to fish.
Oh,
yeah. So
yeah,
we're gonna see. But again, I'm hoping that I can put up at least 85 to 90 inches that day, man.
Hell yeah.
So you end up catching 9 bass, and that's pretty decent. I ended up finishing with 2. I measured every single bass except for one bass I caught. I know I couldn't color it out, so it wasn't even no point of measuring it.
Right.
But, this lake I fished definitely has been consistent with like 14.5-inch bass. And
I saw that.
I would consider 17 closer. Well, 17, 18 closer to the bigger side.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that. There were a lot of 14s on that list there.
When you catching like 14 3/4 back to back like that, in my mind, I'm like, okay, cool. I hope they don't think that I'm submitting the same fish.
I know, right? Yeah, that's I felt that myself. I came to a point on this lake where I was consistently hitting, 16s, 17s, and 18s for one of those deals, and I thought, man, these fish this must be the it must be the oldest generation, I guess you'd call, in the lake. It might be the most dominant age class, I guess.
Right. Yeah, a lot of the times you can actually just zoom in and just check the patterns real quick if you have any kind of discrepancies. But I was watching I saw a post on Facebook. One of the guys was fishing a Bassmaster event, and 2 guys caught a fish that looked like 98% identical, but the map showed that they caught them in separate ends of the lake.
Oh, nice. Okay.
You know what I mean? So imagine actually catching that, close to each other, and then have to really try to prove that you caught 2 different bass, man.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that's tough. But that's almost like 1 in a million. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they did do it.
That zoom, your zoom tool when you're going over those fish, your zoom tool is pretty handy though. That thing looks nice.
Yeah. So this is pretty much a standard there with Tourney X. But it definitely look a hell of a lot better using a desktop opposed to using like a phone.
Oh yeah.
Because I know a lot of times I will submit a fish and I'm like, damn, I can't really see this,
Yeah, I have a lot of issues with, I'll end up taking multiple pictures because when the sun gets really bright and it gets tough to see the tail, and then I'm like, man, I can't. It shadows the nose. I'm like, man, people are gonna think this thing isn't tucked up to the board. You can't see the can't see the nose.
Right. Cool. Well, Martin put up 16 inches against you the last time. And I think I could beat that Saturday. I won't count today as fully official, but it is official because I did have to pay you. So I did see that payment out already. So June 26th, man, we'll be ready. I would say though, so the start time is at 4:30. I think we started at I think we'll probably be starting around the same time on June 26th because I think we'll be starting like 5:45 or something like that. The sun does come up about 5:25, 5:30 here. So
it's kind of it's they consider it a city park where I'm going. So they run it's not necessarily listed, but it's a kind of a 6 a.m. till 10 p.m. kind of place. Right. And they lock it up every night, and then a Fish and Game comes down and unlocks it in the morning. So, I noticed last weekend when I had got there that, it was 5:45, the gate was open and there were already 4 boats on the water. And I thought, what? So I left about a half hour earlier today, and sure thing, when I got there, it was about 15 minutes after 5 and the gate was unlocked. So I was like, well, then it's good. I'm going. So
right. Cool, man. Well, look, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate you today, man. We had an awesome time. Great footage. it just was fun. Again, I didn't win. You know what? It was 10. It was 10:30, and Martin texted me. He said, "Man, you're up 19 inches." I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "No, I gotta keep fishing. Man."
Yeah, he was stirring the pot because he sent me a message too that said you're out of the lead by 19 inches.
Right. And I was like, all right, cool. Well, let's keep going. I'm like, that ain't good enough. Because in my mind, I knew I wasn't even close to 80 inches. I knew like my biggest goal was to get these 14.75s out of there, but of course, at least to get them up to like 15. But man, it's all good though. But hey, man, again, I thank you for coming on, and I'm looking forward to June 26th, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really good time, dude.
All right, brother. You have a good night.
You too, man. Take care of yourself.
All right. All right, everyone. That was Curtis there, man. So again, me and Curtis have a main event on June 26th. We will be competing head to head. And today, basically, what we wanted to do was just go out there and have fun. Again, we do everything on Tourney X, and we just put up $10 and just went out there and have fun. And again, even us putting up that very small amount just to fish head to head, it still was a competitive action, you know what I mean? Because I was up 19 inches by 10:30, and we cut this one a little short to fish at 12 o'clock, and I thought I had it won. But in my mind, I kind of know Curtis patterns. I know Curtis will call out fish throughout the day. He does that pretty easily. And I fished to the end. I end up catching one bass at 11:53. And the bass was only like probably 12 inches. But I did have probably about 3 bites within that 1 hour time span that I just could not land. So, but again, it was fun though. But again, this is Randy with AVA Fishing Real Fast Custom Bait. Martin O'Brien didn't make it here. He's also co-partners with me, and he has Midwest Fishing and Outdoors. So with that, y'all have a wonderful night, and peace.